Hey everyone, welcome back to the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel, the DOU. I am so glad you're here, and I want to thank everyone for helping grow this channel. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you. I have big ideas coming up in the future, and I'll probably put a video out closer to when I solidify, or I think I'm going to solidify some of these ideas. Right now, you already know I've started a blog, which I intend to post to once monthly. So that's just a little bit extra that you can kind of peruse, and I'll see where that goes. I am on Tumblr, although I'm not sure if I had canceled my Tumblr or it's just sitting there, stewing. It takes a lot, as you know, to do all these media outlets. All these social media outlets. And it's sometimes not the best use of time. So I'd like to devote most of the time to uploading videos for you and the research that goes into it. And it's also fun because you discover a lot of things where you can go, can you believe that, right? So it's really well worth the time. And everybody loves just the visual of everything. And so it's a really good place for us to start and jump off on. Later on, I may do Patreon, I'm not sure, and offer some other things. But at this time, I'm going to be here with you enjoying our little time together. Okay, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to share. That helps with the algorithms as well. And of course, if you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you like the content. It is meant to be fun. It's meant to re-report the news to you in a commentary, in a fun way, in an opinion-based way. And, we're sharing a little gossip because really some of this stuff out here is gossip. It isn't even real. It is just made up PR stuff to get us to it's just clickbait. So here we are, and we're going to discuss all that and more. Here I have an article already pulled up, and it's from page 6. So let's just hit it because I think it's interesting that the idea of Meghan and Harry discussing Mexit before they even got married. So we have to think a minute and just think on that for a second. Why would they discuss leaving the royal family? Why would they discuss leaving the royal family before they even got married? If it's been said that Meghan was welcomed into the family, that she had taken on her duties with her feet, get her boots on the ground, and she's already running. And yet now we're hearing people are swimming back to the beginning of the marriage, the relationship, saying that Meghan basically discussed this with Harry before. Do you think really that Harry wanted to leave his family? Really? Or was this discussed in a way, which I've always said in previous videos, that these two were an arrangement either for publicity, either because Meghan is some type of she's been inserted into the family as a mole, or she has gone in with the intention of documenting, or maybe some political reason that Meghan exists and she's being used for that situation, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And the same goes for Harry. Is he being used knowingly or unknowingly? Now, we know that Harry grew up with a team of people who protect him, who help him, who are there for him. They're servants, they're quasi-friends, and basically he knows that they have been there to assist him. And I'm sure that some of the people within the royal family camp or the firm have generational servitude with the royal family. In other words, somebody's great grandma started with the Queen way back when, Queen Victoria or whomever, or Queen Charlotte or whatever. And the generations, whether it's the granddaughter or the grandson, or the great, somebody is in that firm that has generational pull. So they have generational servitude. And they just grew up thinking that that's what we do. My grandfather worked for the royal family as a guard or as a advisor or as a kitchen servant or as a house cleaner or as a maintenance guy or a groundskeeper, and basically the great grandkids work there or have worked there, and there's a bit of loyalty. So when we go back to Harry and thinking, there was a team around Harry prior to Meghan who advised him. And so he was never on his own. There was never a secret unless they were pillow talk. And I still wonder how protected Harry was. Like when he was dating Meghan, was there somebody 2 tables over? Well, there's always the Secret Service or whatever the name is in Europe, UK, whatever the Secret Service is called in the UK. Is it agents from Scotland Yard or what have you? I would think the Scotland Yard is like the FBI or the CIA, whichever. So, and if you think these things don't exist for Prince Harry, well, believe it, they do. These people are walking commodities. If they were to tank, then a lot of the country would seem to be perceived as failed. Now, I understand right now that the Buckingham Palace is boarded up, and the, I guess, crest on the door, which I guess is super important, has been removed. And some indicate that that is because, well, there's a lot being investigated and home quarantined or what have you. And that could be a lot to do with what Meghan and Harry are dealing with. Perhaps Meghan decided since she's not a citizen of the UK, not really, but then again, her son was born in the UK, if you believe there's an Archie at all. Okay, so the web that they weave is intricate, and we need to understand that it's beyond our knowing. And you'll have to use a lot of creative imagination to fill in the blanks. And that's just the way it goes, folks, because we're not privy to some of this stuff. And I doubt Meghan's even privy to some of this stuff. But I wanted to speak with you about it, and I don't want to take too long, but if they discussed Mexit prior, I'm not sure if I really buy into the fact that Prince Harry wanted out. Now, at the same time, it's not obscene that he would want out of I don't know how to say that, a family that may not be as honest and forthright as we all think, because there's a picture that has to be painted by the royals, right? So maybe we're not privy to the truth. Being on the inside is that there's a lot of dirt that goes on and a lot of things that maybe would wear on the soul if you had one. There's some people that don't believe in the royals at all. They think as a group they should all be just ignored, dethroned, what have you, whatever the word or terminology is, to remove them and just have a country without them, or let them go off into obscurity and chill. Well, don't they do that anyway, without an engagement or without them trying to act like they're doing a service to the country by, promoting a program or saying they show up to help some type of organization. Without that, what do they really do? Well, they bring in tourism money. So they are a money-making machine for themselves, because they also have people coming through Buckingham Palace, but they're paying supposedly taxes, but I think there's tax shelters, offshore tax shelters, and I think the UK has reported that they've noticed that there are tax shelters. So if Mexit was spoken about prior to marriage, then this was a planned type of coup. And it's either that Meghan really isn't trying to overthrow or to help topple over the British royal family as a whole, as an organization, or infiltrate it, or it really is something that is meant to have the world look at them and really be a catalyst as such. Now, I'm not sure who would want that to happen, because this is a big world, folks, bigger than even our little bubble that we all live in individually. It's bigger than any of this riots and protests and Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all these other groups and sections of people who think they're being very original with an idea or a plan or for human rights. We all have the rights. We all have the rights. We all have the rights. Whether we activate them or choose to ignore them or think that we're activating them, we all have the rights. However, I will say there are different people in different places within this world who have their sole means is to ruin the lives of the smaller group of people, the people that are outside of the 1%. So is Harry part of that 1%? Definitely. But it's a bigger group that he's part of the 1%. So he's like a 0.2, of the 1%, of which is his family is the 1%. So he's a small player. So when they discussed Mexit before marriage, is that because Meghan wanted to be out and wanted to have her own piece of royalty and take it with her and bring it back to the United States and go into politics and pull Harry with him, and he would then become some type of leader in our country, and she as well, but I'm saying Harry, whether that's first husband or maybe what have you. I don't know. He could be a governor. He could do a lot of things. And don't forget, and I'll always say it and people will get mad at me, the British royals still have a huge part in the United States government. There was an article, and if I can find it, I will post it. But honestly, I'd have to research that all over again. And if I have to and press to, I will. But it's not research that you cannot do on your own. You certainly can. Just type in, does the UK own the United States? Do they have a special agreement? And you will see a plethora of stuff come up, which you better be ready to read and be able to be understanding of it. So they do, and Parliament has discussed Social Security of the United States in Parliament, along with some other countries that I think it was King George, I could be wrong, had made an agreement with upon promising, I guess, not to, invade or try to invade. There's a special agreement. And so the United States government pays the UK, and especially, I want to say, pays the royals. And so how Parliament and the royals are still connected, I'm not sure. But you better believe there's some type of connection. Nobody is going to turn away a payday, even the Queen. She may do it gracefully, and she may have an army of people who represent her, so she never really has to deal with it, but maybe just look at those checks and balances at the end of the month or the day or every 6 months or what have you, or if there's some type of issue. But she has a trusted staff, an army of people who are, their sole purpose is to make sure every one of the royals have what they need and that their future is secure in terms of a bloodline going forward. Now, back to Meghan and Harry, I want to end this in saying, I don't really believe there's a child. And if there is a child, I just don't really believe Harry is the biological father. Not just because we've read that he has, not able to have children, or maybe he's brunting that front for her. Maybe she's the one who really can't have children, because he's definitely an age of being healthy and having children. But she is older than what she is reporting, just because she's a former actress, allegedly, that she's reporting. this age. And I'm sure if it all went to court and it was all out in the open and someone got sued because they said that she's not a certain age or that there is no baby, she'd have to go to court and things would have to be reported. Just like we're all waiting to find out all about the lawsuit that she's done with these British publications. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's not going to go very far, because I'm telling you right now, Meghan would have to divulge a lot of things. And when you're an attorney and you hire people to investigate, especially when it's in terms of some type of royal, whether by marriage or not, you're going to have things aired out, and there's going to be things that are not going to be secret. There may be some that she can cover up, but she's not that clout royal. Prince Harry is, but she is not. And I'm sure the Queen, unless it affects her, is not going to help Meghan hide any truths. Because when you notice, there's been people who have discovered that the photos of the Queen and Prince Philip and Meghan and Harry and Doria looking down lovingly at this little baby are doctored. So Mexit before marriage, I believe it. And that would make one wonder if this was, again, like I've said, a agreement, a contract, and arrangement. For what reason, we're not sure yet, but it all comes out in the wash. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for hanging out to the end. Please comment. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.